Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
I feel like I missed last week, so I haven't been on in forever is what it feels like now.
It does feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to the
Yeah.
Miles with Moms podcast.
Welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast. We are a podcast for moms who run by moms who run. Sorry. Heard the dog and I was gonna make a dog joke, but I don't think quick enough.
Dog. Yeah, disclaimer, one of my dogs, because now we have 3 because we're crazy, but I heard yesterday that when you have 4 is when you're considered a hoarder, so I'm not quite there. But anyways,
The hoarder dog.
4 dogs is like when it starts to be like, okay, that's a bit much. That's what somebody told me. I haven't verified it yet. But we have an AC guy here and she is going crazy. So I'm sorry, everybody. Disclaimer, if you hear her in the background, I'm going to mute as much as possible. But she's keeping us safe. So we're safe here in Tennessee from evil AC guys. Actually, he's very nice.
That you hired to do the work.
Exactly. We asked him to come here, but she's still, not so sure about our judgment, I guess.
That's awesome.
So if dog owners with 4 dogs is called a hoarder, what is a mom with 6 kids called?
Oh.
Just crazy.
For a friend.
Just plain crazy.
There you go. Crazy mama.
Well, guys, today we opened up a question box on our stories a while ago, and we had talked about what we wanted to put on our Patreon and things like that. And we do get so many questions in our inbox. And so we kind of just wanted to do like a larger scale question and answer portion because a lot of the questions are very similar to each other, just sometimes just little different versions or different parts of motherhood because we all have kids kind of different ages that we can touch on our experiences with. So our episode today is going to be about just like a little teaser of these Q&As that you guys submitted, and we love them because it helps us understand, kind of where the holes are in like what information is out there. And that was a big part of why we wanted to start doing this podcast, was to bring the mother runner community together. And you can definitely tell that you guys all have a lot of the same questions. I noticed a lot of questions about like where to even start with training. And I think that is, I love that question because I was so lost for so many years before I was a mom. And then becoming a mom, I was even more lost for so long. So yeah, we can kind of just get started on that. But how are you guys?
Shanna, let's go with you. Let's start with you.
Today I feel like really like in the Zen mode. I'm like, I'm so peaceful. It's so quiet in my house. That's why I'm like a little energy off because I'm used to just like,
but the adrenaline is low.
Yeah. So I have 5 of my kids in school full time now. My kindergartners are now kindergarten full time, which has been so weird. But this week has actually been like jam packed with like appointments. We've been doing doctors and dentist appointments and dividing it by 3s with my kids. And so I haven't really like been alone yet until really today. Like today is like my first official day where I'm like, my preschooler is off at preschool for 3 hours and I'm just here by myself and my dog. My dog doesn't bark ever unless like somebody knocks on the door, but so she's really quiet. She's like quieter than my kids.
So doesn't it feel so weird? Like, don't you just feel so weird?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Whitney, like you probably can relate to that because you went through that shift. Like, I know it's been a few years now, but it's so weird. Like, I walk in my house and I'm like, what to do first? I got ready today. That's what I did. I ignored the laundry again and I got ready. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like you feel like you have all this time and then, at least for me, and then I'll feel daunted because then I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do, so much I want to do. And really what you should do is just relax.
I know.
Like enjoy it before the crazy comes back. But it's so hard. We're like, we're so driven. Like we have to be productive. We have to make use of this time while we have it. But it's like, you treat yourself. You do what you want to do.
That's what I did yesterday. It was like the first time that we didn't have anything, and I had these great at my house. I've never been this behind on my house before, and I am so behind on it. And I was like, I had just watched this reel about how your cortisol level spikes when a mom sees the mess, because like how can we have live in an unchaotic world if our house is chaotic, And I looked around though, and I was like, the only thing not messy is my couch, which means that I should sit there, and I can't see the kitchen from my couch. And I grabbed the whole bag of Doritos. I did not pour myself a bowl. I grabbed the whole bag, and I just sat there, and it was so nice. And my husband came home, and we had like 30 minutes of where we did not even speak to each other. It was so nice. Like we just were in silence. Well, I was watching a show, but we were in silence with each other. It was just, we needed it. And I thought about it, and I was like, I've never been in my house without my kids ever in the last 5 years. I've never had them out somewhere and then I was home. It was just so weird. And it's like, at first it's nice. And then you're like, okay, I'm kind of ready for them to be back again.
Yeah. It's crazy because you do get used to it, but still the day goes by so fast that I still feel like I don't get done what I had set for myself to get done. Yeah. So I don't know. It is very nice. So embrace it. I used to feel guilty. I used to be like, I'm so. Well, that's like a common theme in this podcast, in my life, where it's like when you have this beautiful gift and you're like, but I don't think I deserve this time. Yeah. And it's like, oh, but you do. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, you work hard to have that, there is that. I will say the first day I was like, I used to sit in my ambulance and I would wonder, what do stay-at-home moms do? And the answer is, you're doing everything. Like you just simply are doing everything. It's hard to wrap my mind around the working mom aspect of it, because they do everything plus what we do. But a lot of times you're maybe able to delegate a little bit differently and things like that. And I don't think one is harder than the other or anything like that. It's simply that moms have to figure out how to fit everything in, no matter which way you slice it. It's not like, oh, this one's harder. It's just the added aspects, And so, because when you're a stay-at-home mom, you're set up, you set things up so that you can do the drop-offs and the pickups in that order, otherwise it's oh, I won't be able to do that because I'd be at work during that time. But I was I'd love to go back to 2019 Olivia and give her a little slap in the face, wondering. The answer is everything. Don't question what stay-at-home moms do.
Exactly. Yes. My biggest pet peeve is when people say, I don't know what she does all day, or oh, you have so much time. And you're right. It shifts. It's when you are a stay-at-home mom, then you're picking up more of other tasks, like you said, with, other people maybe carpooling, or they're not as involved in other things, perhaps. It's just the workload, it just shifts around, and it's just moms have a lot to do no matter what. I mean, I would say most moms do. I do remember Whitney pre-kids at work. One of my coworkers was on maternity leave, and she came for a lunch with her new baby. And I said to her, I was like, so how's your vacation going? Oh! And I stopped myself and I was like, no, I'm sorry. That is not what I meant.
You're like, that's not.
But I clearly had no clue. I had no clue what life was like with a baby.
I mean, children. It's not like you had kids. So you really don't know until you have kids. And then you're like, wait, I am never alone. Ever, until they're at grade school. It's weird. It's such an adjustment. That's so funny, though. I can only imagine the reaction, the look on her face. She's like, vacation? I want to go back to pre-baby stage.
Yes. She was actually very gracious and did not make me feel bad. But I think of that often, wow, Whitney, how out of touch were you?
That
Um,
is so funny. I probably was asked that too when I first became a stay-at-home mom. And I just remember being like, having a baby is the best kept secret ever. I'm not telling anybody. I was like, this is the best, just besides the lack of sleep. But yeah.
That was my biggest thing. I think I've said that's why I stopped at 2. But I will say, like, the perk of nursing while working was like that I could close my office door anytime I wanted and have quiet time. And same at home when, people were over, family was over, and I'd be like, oh, Eleanor needs to nurse. I'm going to go sit in some quiet in, the bedroom for an hour and not have to talk to
I
people.
still consider sometimes being like, you want to pretend? Oh, I'm overstimulated right now. Anybody want to go pretend like we have some secret mom baby thing? They're just too big to get away with it now. So
maybe those nursing moms of 3 and 4-year-olds are doing it right.
Yeah, they're onto something.
They have the secret. They have the best kept secret that you were talking about.
For real. It was like I nursed Eleanor until she was past 2, which is crazy.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I stopped when I became pregnant with Cal. I was like, well, I'm not going to do this. But it was great for those moments where you were just feeling anxious and overstimulated and needed a reset. And it's like, we're just going to go have some quiet time. See ya. It was like a beautiful excuse to just like lay around and be lazy.
It's so true. I worked in the salon with Madison, my oldest at the time, and it was like literally like it felt like one of those like cow factories when they're going in and there's the next person and the next person. That's how this salon was. It was just like constantly like one person after another, and you're just like, I just want to sit because your feet just killed. And then I just remember like, oh, I have to go in the back and pump for 15 minutes. And I would just be devouring food as I had like these 2 pumps on my boobs in the very back, hoping that like our boss wouldn't walk in because he was always in that shop. But yeah, it was my favorite. I loved like the only time I didn't love pumping was like when I worked at the hospital because we never got time. Like I had sometimes like 25, 30 patients, which is so illegal. And it was like my boobs hurt so bad by the 12th hour of that shift. It was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Being engorged is like one of the worst feelings ever.
Painful. I know. And then you get like mastitis from it or whatever. And it was awful.
Yeah, I remember we traveled and our pump broke. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
So what did you do? Because I could tell you a story about what we had to do.
Oh no. What did I do? I think
it helped you out, right?
Oh God, no. Shanna, I am blushing. Oh my gosh, that is not what we did. I think I got it to work.
Have you ever been in like such a desperate state where your boobs hurt so bad, so bad that you are literally willing to do anything?
Oh my God.
I would like hand express, but I would never.
That never did it for me. I can never get out enough. Like,
oh really?
I struggled ever like getting fully empty. And so like, especially like with my twins, like I would have to like feed them both and then pump after I fed them both.
Wow.
Because my body was just like, okay, we're feeding twins. We can tell because you're tandem feeding. But now we have like, we think we're feeding quadruplets because now you're having to pump to actually empty yourself out. And it's like, it was so bad. Like that was probably the only time my boobs were ever like big. When I had twins.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
So crazy.
The whole tandem feeding is just amazing to me. It requires so much coordination. I think God's like, I could not give her twins because she just wouldn't know. Like, where I'm like, I need a 4th arm. I don't know what to do.
You're just literally, your boobs are just out all day long. You're just
that is like the one thing about nursing just one baby already. So I imagine 2. I can't imagine though with like that much milk supply and then getting mastitis on top of it, the amount of pain well, because you can, I mean, you can get like fevers and you can
Oh
get
yeah.
sick off of it. So you would be desperate for any kind of relief.
Yes.
Yeah. That
So
is
bad.
crazy. I wouldn't even, I would be like, shirts, who needs them?
I know. It's so true.
Overrated.
It's so cool though. It's so awesome to think because it's already so amazing, like feeding one baby. So doing both of them, that would be like
We
just.
know that Olivia, she
I
just
would.
wants to talk the whole rest of the podcast about breastfeeding.
I would. I will never get over it. Like I'll never. I remember like just being like, how did I not know this is the best? And it's like so much of it is like in the moment, you're like, oh, I bonded with my baby so much. But I think feeding your baby, no matter which way you're feeding your baby, you're bonding with them. I think it's the miracle that your body is making the food that makes them grow. And that's pretty fascinating and amazing. And I think I just didn't have a lot of guidance into like I didn't have a lot of friends that had children. So when I got to become a mom, I was like, why did nobody tell me this is the best thing ever? TV portrays it as like,
It
oh,
does. Yeah.
so hard. You never sleep. You'll be so angry all the time. Like it sucks. And newborn stage, and people will tell you they don't like the newborn stage and stuff like that. And then when you're in it, it's like, okay, why? What information?
What am I missing? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I literally was like, am I not doing enough because I'm enjoying it too much?
Yeah.
That was literally the
It's
point
so
that I was
true.
at. So, yeah.
I shifted my focus recently. I think just with summer going by so fast and then Eleanor starting middle school that I've really like embraced that time is fleeting and to soak it in. Like before, I'd still kind of struggled with that just with a lot of reasons. But, with running, we're like, we get to do this. And that's kind of the mindset shift that I've rolled over from running into parenthood that like, I get to do this. Like I love all of it. I don't love all of it. The fighting, as I have said, I'm a broken record, is the one thing that I do not love.
I agree with that.
Everything else is just it's so amazing. So I'm with you, Olivia, but like if I find myself getting caught in that, like just being annoyed that like the house is a mess and people aren't like doing what I asked them to do or whatever, I'm like, no, you get to do this and you chose to do this. Like this is your choice. And yeah, I don't know. That may sound cheesy. However, it is something that I have stepped into recently. Yeah.
It's like you never have to question what your purpose is, too. It's like, yes, sometimes I think for us, a lot of times there's like a longing of, should I go to work? Should I be working? Should I be doing more? And but the sole purpose of what we are doing is raising our kids no matter what that looks like, and like we really are forming like this is their childhood and like they will remember this, and that's what's so important. And I think I look at them play even when they're fighting, I think back to how my brother and I used to fight. I mean, we would just whack each other and like, it was very formative, and all these things. And then eventually as we got older, my brother, like I would do something to him, but then he would take the fall for it. And like, it's interesting, like thinking about like, I wonder if my kids will be like that, which I know that they will because Grayson is quite the pushover. So, it's like, it's so fascinating watching them grow up. I will say the thing with school, it's been a little hard. Like it's like they don't need me as much. Just like there's little things that I'm noticing, like Grayson, if he wants ice water, like he just gets up and goes and gets it at home, at the restaurant, and I'm like, it's nice, but also I'm like, wait, it's my job. I'm taking my job home. I'm supposed to serve you.
Oh, that's awesome though. I've been pushing Cal because he would let me do everything for him. So he's just now starting to like little glimmers of independence where I'm like, okay, yes, this is good. Whereas Eleanor, it's great. She is now just so responsible and independent and dependable, and I can trust her. And she's a helper, which is so nice that finally crossed over into that, where it's like, hey, can you do this? Hey, instead of it being like, well, are you going to pay me? Or like, I don't want to pay you. Like, you're living in this household.
I know.
Open out. Earn your keep.
Yeah. He's like, if I do that, will you give me $5? I'm like, $5? I'll give you 5 cents, maybe, if you do a really good job. But yeah. And then there's Charlotte, who even like no matter what, she'll go, I'm not your maid, because I said that so many times. She looks in the mirror sometimes and she'll just be like, I'm not your maid. Yeah, you're not.
She just wanted to make sure we clear on that.
Yeah.
I'm not my mom's maid. Which is a lot nicer than sometimes, like, when I feel like I'm doing everything for everybody, and I'm just in my mind, I'm like, I'm not your bitch. Like, I never have said that out loud, I don't think.
She probably looks at me like, can I say that?
Sorry, Charlotte.
Honestly, there's no words that she hasn't heard. Like, at least once a day, Grayson comes in, Charlotte called me an asshole. Not saying the whole word. At least say a-hole, and don't say it at school. That's the only rule I have.
Don't say it at school.
But not at school.
Yeah. Gotta let those teachers think we're good parents at home.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Okay. Shall we get into these questions?
Yeah.
I guess we should offer some information on this episode, right?
Yeah, we'll do something. But we could talk about hot dog nipples forever.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta listen. I don't even know what episode that was. I think, what was it, like the postpartum episode? You referenced hot dog nipples.
Probably.
I love these questions that people send in, because there's a lot of similarities, but they're also very they're on either extreme, like like deep questions versus like, what kind of shoes do you like? So do you guys want to start with what are your favorite running shoes, and do you tell your spouse how much you spend on them?
No. I don't know. I kind of run in like a couple different types, but lately, I mean, the last few years, it's always been either Saucony or Nike. Favorite shoe, like model, I don't know. I'm in the Speed 4s, and then the Pro 4s for Saucony, and then Nikes. I'm Volmero I use, and then the Pegasus. But I do not tell my husband how much I spend on my shoes. I mean, I think he kind of has an idea, but I don't think he understands how much my super shoes cost. And he'll never know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's no way. He doesn't really look at the bank account, like, unless like I tell him I haven't looked in a while. And if I've bought something, I'll be like, I'll go look and see how much money we need to transfer over. Otherwise, he doesn't, like, it overwhelms him to have to look at the bank account. The last few months, he has been in charge of finances, and I've kind of slowly taken that back over. But if I purchase something, I'm like, I'll go look at it. Don't worry about it. I got it. This is where we're at.
That's awesome.
So
I wish I could do that. That'd be so nice. I mean, I feel like so most of the time for any purchase that's over like $100, I have him make it, because then I'm like, well, I didn't spend that money. And I'm not kidding. Like, if we need berries, I don't buy them. I send him to this store, even if he's on his way home from work.
Smart.
And like, we don't have a date, because berries are very expensive. And I'm always like, oh, it just adds up so quick.
It does.
So I'm like, hey, I forgot to grab the berries. And so he's the one who's spending it, because he'll buy a lot. My husband's very bougie. And so for him, he's like, he's like, yeah, let's go all out. The kids need the best and the organic and all that stuff, where I'm like, cheap. And so, or I'll send him a link, like when my super shoes are on sale, and I'm like, "Ooh, look, this is a great sale." And he's like, "Oh, what size are you?" Or he'll try to like surprise me. So like usually I put him in charge actually of purchasing them. And I did not spend that money, and I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I don't have any. I do it all the time when that's how I get a lot of things is I'll be like, "This is a really good deal." And then he's like,
This is a
purchase
really
it. Yeah. That man and Apple Pay are just like, I get that little ding. Like sometimes I'll be sleeping, I'll hear the little ding, and I'm like, "Oh, what'd you buy?"
What'd you buy? You put
Yeah.
in his cart for him on his phone. He's like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
You title it, good gift idea when we're in a fight.
Exactly.
That's genius right there.
I wear my shoes to death, and
Me
he
too.
does not love that I do that. So like for him it's very important that I have decent running shoes. I mean, except for the super shoes. He gets really annoyed that I like having brand new ones for
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, why can't you do a couple of training runs and then use them? Like shouldn't they be broken in anyways? You should be able to put like, 300 miles on them." And I'm like, "Trust me, like all of my shoes have a lot more than 300 miles on them.
Yes.
Like they have holes like that, plain and
Yeah.
simple. When my pinky toe comes out, that's usually when it's time for a new pair."
Yeah. And that's
So,
usually like 1,500 miles because I
yeah.
know I've been there
Oh
so
my
many
gosh.
times.
See, I don't track my mileage, but I definitely do not wear old shoes anymore. Just
You
because
were
I'm injury prone. So I like keep track. That's one of those little things that I am on.
I saw your post about that, about not running in shoes that have
Yeah,
given.
because I'll mess with my shoes and then I'll get a little niggle. Yeah, I was gonna like I haven't worn my Alpha Flies ever since. So that's what I used to race in was the Alpha Flies, and I wear the Hoka Mach for like my regular run, like my day trainers or whatever you call them. Because I love Hokas, and when I deviated from Hokas was also when I started getting injuries.
Yeah.
But so I have them, but I had a little foot injury from the Alpha Flies, and then I haven't worn them. And this weekend I was like, oh, I think I might wear these for my speed workout. And my husband was like, be careful there. And it dawned on me, I was like, you're right. Like anytime I'm like, oh, I'll just try these shoes out for, why not? It'd be kind of fun. Something happens. So I'm just like very paranoid. And
No, it's
That's
legit
probably
because
good.
I tried the New Balance. What was it?
The super comps, right?
Yeah, the super comps. Yeah. And then there are other ones. They have another one that's not their supers, but
the Rebels.
the Rebel 4s. Yeah. And I had them sent to me like New Balance, I didn't even get in contact with them. I've never worn New Balance just because they're really bulky shoes and like I like my shoes very narrow. And anyways, they just randomly found my address, sent me a box of shoes. And so of course as a runner, you're like, I desperately need new shoes. I'm gonna try these on. Maybe they might work. I wore them for like 3 months and I had the worst plantar fasciitis I've ever had. It was so bad. And then it went up to like shin pain. And I was like, this shoe. I was so mad. I like wrote them back. I was like, do not send me any of my shoes because I'm never going to wear them again. And I mean, I was very grateful, but I just was like, do not send me because I will feel so bad if you send me brand new shoes and I can't wear them. And I ended up giving a couple pairs to my friend, but I was just like, these suck. So I agree. Like, I feel like you just need to stick to what you know. Like, I've always worn Nike my whole entire life, and that's probably why my foot doesn't know the difference between spread out toes and squished together toes. But it works. Like, it's just what I've always worn. So why change something that's not broken,
Exactly. Yeah. So I did switch I'm running in my carbon fiber shoes are the Puma Nitros, the
I'm
DV.
curious. See, I'm curious about those. I want to know what those
I really do like them because I've tried several super shoes and I like that one. Like Alpha Flies, you feel a big pop, Olivia, have you run in Alpha Flies before?
No.
Like they're very springy, almost to the point where I feel like you don't feel in control of your foot strike. These they're not springy, but you still feel fast, but they hug your feet. But like I don't know, you feel supported, but you still feel fast. So I've really liked them, and I just actually bought a second pair yesterday that I'm hoping those will be my Chicago shoes. So
Yeah.
I
That's
like
so
them. I've never had Pumas before.
the thing with I haven't had Pumas either, and so I never thought of Puma as a running shoe really. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I had them. I don't even know the last time I had Pumas, to be honest. Like maybe something I like picked up at a TJ Maxx or something. And
Yeah.
so I've been seeing all these people in them, and I'm like, wow, this is so crazy because they look super neat. I like my daily trainer. I need it to be super like just unremarkable. Like I need it to be pretty flat, nothing special. And then when I am in my speed shoes, like I just need that like lightweightness of them. So I don't know because otherwise I'll be too hyper aware of like what's happening at mile 18, 19, 20. Like I'll be like, oh my gosh, these are starting to flatten out. And because at CIM was the first time I'd ever worn those Saucony and Pro Fours, and I'd never ran in them at all, and I was like, I this feels illegal. They feel so soft.
Yes.
Like they were like slippers, and I was like, this is oh my gosh. By like mile 8, I was like, I'm wearing slippers. This is great. And then I was like starting to be like, should my shoes feel different now? You know, because I've had other ones, and you start to notice it. You know, by like mile 18, 19, and so I don't know that they're like the most springy shoe on the planet, but I do know that they're so lightweight, and I definitely feel faster in them. And it's just that they're consistent. Like I think that's the biggest thing for me is just having that consistency and not overthinking it too much. Like at the end of the day, at mile 20, a shoe is not going to get me to my goal. It will help, but I need something like lightweight, you know, and that's like the biggest thing, and something that just hugs my foot like a sock.
Yeah.
So
You don't want your foot sliding around and
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, and like, I don't know, I've learned too that just because you spent money on a shoe, if it's not the right fit,
Yeah.
like, don't force yourself to wear it because you could risk
Yes.
injury.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned too.
I had those New Balance ones. We were having foot pain at the same time.
Yeah.
And while we were moving, I tried to throw them into the dumpster. And my husband fished them out and was like, these look brand new. And I was like, he bought them for me, and I didn't have the heart to tell him that. Yeah, he didn't have the heart. In the dumpster. I know. Everybody loved the dumpster. They still talk about all the things they put in the dumpster. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that they were hurting my feet so much because he had surprised me with them. And so anyway, they're sitting there, and sometimes I put them on, and then I change them when I get to the track.
Yes, you're like, don't do it.
Yeah, wear them for a warm up to show face. I'm like, they're getting like 2 miles at a time on them. So yeah.
Okay. Shanna, you did a great post on this topic yesterday, I think, on mom guilt. So, but somebody wrote in saying that they're having to, they keep rescheduling their long runs because they feel guilty being away, and their husband watches their 3 kids. How about, we each give just maybe like one tip, because we've done a whole podcast on mom guilt. We talk about it a lot. It sneaks its way in to our conversations like almost every episode, I think. So, Shanna, do you want to start? Like, what would you say is your top tip for battling mom guilt so that you can go out on your long run and actually enjoy yourself?
I think just preparing your family that it's gonna come up. Like, I think for me, it's like telling my family in advance, like, hey, I have a 20 miler this Saturday. Like, it has a workout in it. It's a big deal. It's kind of like a tune up for, to see where we're at. And I just like prep my family for a couple days before. Even like the night before my long runs, I'm like, it's either spaghetti or pizza or something with like lots of carbs. So my kids kind of already know, like, Friday night is pizza night or Friday night is spaghetti night, because they know like I'm using it for my long run. But so my family just like they're on board, they're on the same page as me. And I think a lot of times like where the guilt comes from is like the lack of communication to our family, that like, hey, we need you to step up, or hey, I'm going to be back at this time. What time do you need? Like, my husband works on Saturdays. So I have to communicate very clearly. Like, I have 20 miles. I'm starting at this time. I'll probably finish at that time. Does that work for your schedule? Or do I need to come home and finish like my last 2 miles on the treadmill? And I've done both. And so I just think, like, one, going into your long runs, knowing it doesn't have to look perfect. It could be broken up if you have to. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. It's still going to add up. And then two, just letting your family know, like, we have it coming up, and just preparing them mentally for it. So
That's good. What about you?
I think it kind of depends on like where is the guilt coming from, because sometimes like for me a lot of the guilt comes from they're so cozy in the morning when I see them, and I like want to lay there with them, or like I want to get their breakfast. So I like Charlotte, she likes her things a certain way, and so a lot of times I prepare it for everybody before I leave. So I have everything set out, and so that way it really takes, and it's not to make my husband's life easier, it's just for me to stay involved in it. And like Charlotte likes she calls it her coffee, it's just chocolate milk, but she likes her coffee a certain way and things like that. So I always make it and I leave it, and then there's a little note and stuff, and so it's just like you're still involved in it. But then also that day, like I've thought about this so much with like how my fueling has changed during my run, so that I am still a very present mom for the rest of the day. Like you should not be depleted to the point that you, like, yes, obviously vegging out would be ideal, but like if you're a mom of 3, you're not vegging out throughout the day. So having something planned that is just for you guys, that makes it feel like you're making up for that time. And then also like involving your kids depending on what age. Like for me, my kids pick like 3 songs that I listen to. So am I listening to Steve's Lava Chicken from Minecraft quite often? Yeah, I am. But it's so that I can say it, like, because Grayson really wants to know that I'll listen to that when I cross the Chicago finish line. He's like, did you practice it today? And I'm like, I practiced it today, and it's like keeping them very involved, because it's like we miss that. I mean, you should be longing to be with your kids at that time, but it's okay to take the time for yourself. Like they really are okay. And also if it's the guilt that your partner's watching them, like you got to take that away. You are equal. Yeah. Like when you are home, it is 50-50, and like that's fair. That's like it should be 50-50. It shouldn't be something where you're feeling guilty that he has to take that on, because it's like for me, I get that sometimes, but then I'm immediately like, hey, I'm 8 minutes away if you want to start to get ready to go to the gym, or if you want to reach out for someone to play pickleball with, like I hope you have something lined up. Like I hope that you equally take that time away.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's great tips. And I would say mine, because we talked about over the summer, like managing marathon training with marriages, and I was not in the best place, but I realized like I just had so much guilt with the weight that my husband has to carry when I'm training. And the biggest shift I made, because I don't have guilt leaving with my kids. Like usually they're asleep, or they're doing fun stuff with my husband, or they're at school. And I see now my kids are older, they're 11 and 8. I see the positive impact of my running on them, on their habits. I can practice what I preach. Like Cal lately, he's doesn't want to do drills for soccer. He just wants to scrimmage all the time. And so I'm like, do you think I want to go run 20 miles in a gazillion degrees? No. Like in order to be good at something, like you have to do the things that you don't want to do. Otherwise everybody would do it. So it's like, I just see so many benefits that our habit and our passion and our goals are imparting on our kids. But as far as the wife guilt, like that's what I call it. I have felt that hard. And so what I shifted after we had our talk over the summer is I've just been like communicating, as you guys said, this is what I'm doing. And they know that this is important to me. And, it's a give and take. It's like, okay, what works for you? If it's like tomorrow I asked, because we now have 3 dogs. They're also our children, and they require a lot of attention and like walk. I mean, it's complicated, but anyway, so I asked Jake, I'm like, I want to do my long run workout right after drop off. Can you handle dog duty? And, just communicating all that so that we're clear. There's no surprises. Yeah. Nobody's like, where are you? How far did you go? All those. And he's fine. He's like, yeah, that's fine. Just don't disappoint us in Chicago. It's like, which he's totally kidding.
Yeah.
I think, but it's still like, it's a team effort. Like, you can't think it's this solo thing that you do in these like little pockets of time away from them, because that's impossible, as you're all dependent on one another. So you got to get everybody involved. And I've been talking about my training quite a lot with the kids, so that they know what I'm doing, and they know what my goals are, and they see all the work. So, oh my gosh, never heard that bark. I'm going to mute. I'm done.
Okay. Sorry, that's very first thing. I was like, what is going on? That was me.
Yeah, she was so
excited. Make sure you guys are awake still.
The guy was at the window. I don't know if he's trying to get my attention. Okay, so I'll ask the next question, and then I'm going to go make sure that everything's okay with them. Okay. How do you have time for workouts, but also sleep, and also have time with your husband? Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Go ahead, Olivia. You go first this time.
How do I have time? It's so hard. I feel like there's sometimes moments in life where like I have more time than others, and especially with school starting, this has been an adjustment. And like, we've been in a weird phase where my husband had surgery, so he's been home, but then he's also started this new job, so he's technically not really home a lot. And so it's really it's the idea of quality time versus quantity time. So my runs, it's every single day there's no scheduled time. It's like, okay, it's like 8 p.m. Like, can I go run in the morning, or are you playing pickleball? What's the plan? Or do you have to go into the office, and like, can I squeeze my run in before that? My husband has work on Saturday morning. He has to leave here by 6:30. Like, I will not squeeze in my run before that, Yeah. And so there's moments where it's like, oh, there is no time. And then you take it to the treadmill. And I'm a user of gym childcare, or just setting my kids up in front of the TV and activities and stuff like that. And there's a monster under the bed. There's a monster under the bed. Okay, we'll just leave it alone for now. Okay, let it sleep. Okay, it's not a monster. It's not a monster. Is it you? Did you see a mirror? Sorry, her hair is crazy right now, so she looks a little like a monster.
Like a monster.
It's definitely like, for us, every day we have to figure it out. Like, there is, as much as we have routine. Shh, 1 second, Charlotte. Like, every day we make adjustments and find pockets. So like today, my husband left at 4 a.m. I have not run yet. I did the morning routine. I did school drop off. Now we're podcasting. Then I'll drop Charlotte off, and then I'll probably run tonight and just do it like that. So it's just staying flexible, and yeah. It's not a monster. Anyways, I don't know what I just said, because she's been talking the whole time. So if I said staying flexible, I think that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Good.
I think that's such a good tip. Like, especially like this is a mom podcast. Like, I think when we take the pressure off ourselves for it to look a certain way, it just gets easier. Like I really did. Like, when I came back in the running scene, it was the last time I was in the running scene at this level. I didn't have kids. And so coming back as trying to be a competitive runner again in the competitive scene, and you have now all these kids, you're like, wait, my running doesn't look the same as what it used to look like. My first year was so many treadmill runs, and I used to get so many treadmill haters. Like, they would literally be like, oh, there she goes, the treadmill girl. Like, you call yourself a runner and you're on your treadmill in your garage. And I was like, I have 6 kids, like, and I'm still doing it. Like, so shut up. But anyways, I think it's crazy. Like, the moment you tell yourself, like, I don't have to look a certain way for anybody, then it's like your training becomes your own. And then it just gets easier. And so I love that you mentioned like the gym daycare. I personally haven't used that, but it is more accessible for a lot of moms if they have a gym nearby that they can pay for, or, invest in that treadmill. Like, it really, like, my first treadmill was like $400 off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a piece of shit, but it held up for 5 years, and I put so many miles on that thing. and now it's gone and I'm so happy, but I finally upgraded it. But if you are wanting to invest in yourself, like that, a treadmill is never a bad option, especially for a mom, because you literally will probably be on that more than you think you want to be. And so, yeah, like I did the same thing. A lot of my mornings, I try to really squeeze it in the morning so I just don't have to think about it, especially when sports start next week. It's just going to be really crazy in the evening. But if you can, like, yeah, just figure out what works in your week. Like, I sit down Sunday when I get my whole schedule out and I like try to pencil in, okay, where can I fit it in between the kids' stuff? And they're on top of it. Now we got play dates going. Like today we have our first play date of the year. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. The fight between who gets the play date today. And it's always crazy over here, but yeah, I love that. I love the tip of flexibility, because that's literally the only thing that has kept me in the game of this sport the last few years. It's just knowing it's imperfect. You may get your cool down in a couple hours later. You may sneak some extra miles. Sometimes, like if I have a double run, I'll sneak my extra miles in my warm up and my cool down, so I don't have to do the double run. So just being creative too, like moving it around, like, okay, tomorrow I have a really tight schedule. So today I'm going to get a little bit extra miles in today to make up for tomorrow where I probably have to take away a little bit extra miles. Yeah, it's just like playing with your schedule and just being flexible. Yeah.
I think the husband aspect of that question is a little tough too, because it really just depends on what their job is, and like, or if they're the stay-at-home parent, whoever is listening, like whatever your lifestyle is. A lot of times our quality time really is just 30 minutes of the pickup and drop off, and that's all we get. And like that's how yesterday was. We had 30 minutes. That's just and that was the only, but we've never had like uninterrupted time like that, which was nice. And sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I'm headed in that direction anyway, I'll just drop you off and then text me when you're done, I'll pick you up. And it sounds silly, but it's like we do get that time, which is nice. We don't, because dinner's hectic and pickups and drop offs for sports and everything is hectic. So I think really taking those moments, or like if your husband also has to do any type of cardio, like can they push the stroller and you get your cool down miles in if you are doing them later. There are so many little pockets, but it as nice as it would be to have date nights all the time and stuff, it's probably not super realistic for a lot of people who are listening. And finding those little just extra pockets of time, even if they seem so short, it's like, oh, that was actually such a nice little afternoon we had. And it was like 15-20 minutes,
I feel like the mindset of being flexible and kind of making it work however you can, that beautiful swath of time that you think you need to get your workout in, that plays with relationships too. It's like you're not going to have a date night every week. You're not going to have, hours together. So it's like, again, just looking for those little pockets of time that you can have that quality time. But then for us, like, it's just so much better now that the kids are older for us to just, oh my God, Nikki, for us to just get away. Like if you can make it so that you can get away for a weekend, just being someplace else can make such a big difference, I feel like. And it just, if you feel like you're two ships passing in the night, which is so common, especially as your kids get older and it's just busy, just having that reset with a weekend away, I don't know. I highly recommend it.
That's great. Yeah.
And I'm muting again because my dog will not stop barking. She's very cute though, guys. Okay. So
thank you.
She's worth the hassle of listening. I'm going to ask one more question. Unless you guys had anything else to say on that.
No. Staying flexible.
Stay flexible. I lost our where I had all the questions listed. Okay, here we go. Okay. Heart rate training. We've had some questions. You guys both use heart rate training. So somebody is wondering like how to get their best, how to figure out their targets. They're returning to running postpartum. How do you figure out your workout targets with heart rate training?
So pretty much you have to figure out kind of like a rough estimate of like your max heart rate. So, I mean, this is how we do it. There's a few different ways to do heart rate training. Some people go off their lactate threshold heart rate, and then some people go off their max heart rate. So the training that we do is we go off our max heart rate. So usually you can figure that out through like a 2-mile time trial or like a 15-minute, 20-minute time trial. Obviously you want to do that somewhere flat and then just warm up for it, obviously, and then you roll into your 2-miler. And then you'll get a close proximity of hopefully of where your max heart rate is. You can add 5 beats if you feel like you weren't able to fully get there. And then you just divide it down in zones. So there's like zone 1, zone 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I guess some have a zone 6, but you will hardly ever see that unless you're like a sprinter. So, but so we do 5 zones and then you break it up into percentages. So like 60 to 65% is typically your recovery pace. So like out there thinking you're just shagging, like you're just slow jog, moving those feet very slowly, just chill pace. Almost like you're almost like, am I walking? Am I running? I don't even know. And then your 70 to like 76% is what we use. That's your zone 2 for us. And then that's usually where a bulk of your mileage will be at, unless you just had a workout. So if you have like a workout the day before, the next day is usually a recovery run. And then if you're 2 days out from a workout, it's usually just an easy run. And that's your 70 to 75%. And then after that, you get into like your zone 3 gray zone, and then into like aerobic threshold, anaerobic. So more speed is like end of 4 to 5 is how we do it. I'm curious how you set workout targets. So really it just depends what you're training for. This is such a hard question because I'm trying to understand the concept of what she's trying to get at. But like, it just depends what you're training for. So if you're in a marathon block, I mean, you're going to go through several different workout targets because you're going to go through like a base mode for a while, which is like putting miles on your feet, getting used to it, time on feet, building up your long runs. So you're getting used to the fatigue before you put workouts into them. And then you're going to slowly shift almost into like a speed session is what we do. So we do like a speed block to kind of get that leg turnover. You just had a solid base. Now we're going to get the legs turning over. You used to like faster paces beyond marathon, so that when you go into your marathon block, those paces are going to feel very comfy. They should feel very comfy. And then you're in your block. But I'm not sure like how to like answer like how, like, curious how you set your workout targets. Like,
I think if you
like,
are like, so if this is somebody postpartum returning to running, figuring out like what does 130 to 140 heart rate look like, a scale of 1 to 10 effort wise. And so like this is what I would do if I was writing out my own plans. I don't know that I feel like with heart rate training, it would be good to have some guidance. I will say that, just to kind of run it past someone else, or just at least to ask questions about it. But figuring out like how hard does 130 to 140 feel right now, and then 140 to 150. And the thing with heart rate training is you start off usually like 150 isn't that crazy for it to feel like this is like my slowest running pace, like just because in general you have to work yourself down into that zone 2 where it is like closer to 130 140, or even just like that 140 mark. But figuring out what zones you're at, and then that's how somebody can tell you what your tempo is, your lactate threshold paces and stuff like that. But I would say having some kind of guidance so that you're not maybe figuring it out on your own, and like buying a plan or contacting a coach that's able to offer you even just one-to-one answers of like what your targets are. Because if you're just trying to build up an aerobic base, like you can get away with pretty much just figuring out like where your easy pace is and working on that aerobic endurance for a while. But you would want to throw in a little bit of extra stimulus in there, because otherwise you would just kind of plateau after a while, which in turn, especially if you are postpartum, would be very frustrating, because you are wanting to see gains during that time so that you can start to focus on goals. So if that makes sense.
yeah. I think if you're in postpartum, like you really shouldn't be focusing on heart rate, because you're just trying to build up time on feet at that point. Like at least like when I come back postpartum, I don't have like a big solid base background unless you're running your whole entire pregnancy and you're feeling great. Like your heart rate isn't going to match effort in the beginning. And I think a lot of times people they don't understand that until they're training in heart rate. Your heart rates aren't going to feel like my 170 to 180 back then was like the heart rate I would see on every single one of my easy runs. And I say that lightly because it felt more like moderate to comfortable hard. But now if I ran a 170, 180 heart rate, I'm doing like 520s. Like my pace is like, I wouldn't even call that a comfortable hard. I would call that a workout. Like, and so it's just your heart rate does adjust with time. But I think if you're starting out postpartum, you shouldn't even really be worried about your heart rate in the beginning. The heart rate's just there just to show you the effort after the workout, to go back and look and say, okay, so today I did my easy run and it was a run walk, right? 5 minutes on, 2 minutes walk, 5 minutes run, 2 minute walk. And then really the concept of coming back postpartum, like you really should just be focusing on building up time on your feet. Like getting to a point where you're running 30 to 60 minutes consistently at an easy effort and feeling pretty good. And then it's like after that, then you can start, once you have that aerobic foundation a little bit built up, then you're able to really start, okay, now I can focus on my heart rate zones. And I don't know. It's really hard because I think people think it's like one or all, like you got to go all in or not. And it's like heart rate is there to help you, but when you're in that postpartum return phase, like you're not going to see, I never saw 130 or 140 on my watch because
Yeah.
I didn't have my heart rate, didn't even know what that was. Like,
And your
and so
body's in overdrive. It always is.
yeah,
You're actively trying to recover a wound of where
yes,
your baby and your organ came out. Like
yeah, it's a big
you
deal.
are, I mean, every run I would have done, even power walking, would have been an effort of 5 out of 5.
Yes.
If
I
it's
mean,
a
new
skill.
runners too just tend to
Yeah.
have higher heart rates
Yeah.
to start. It just,
Yeah.
and with my postpartum runners that I coach, like almost all of them, we start back run walk. And I
Yeah.
don't, I don't tell them, new runners too, don't look at your heart rate yet because
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
body doesn't know. Like it's figuring out how to work, how to pump to get the oxygen to your working muscles. So there is an adaptation phase of, I don't know, probably about 6 weeks before it starts like coming down and regulating of
Yeah.
running. Like
Yes.
that's once you get past the run walk phase and you're doing consistent running over 30 minutes or whatever. It's 3 to 6 weeks of that before it starts regulating. So yeah, that's you're right. A lot of people think it's all or nothing, but it's like
Yeah.
heart rate training. It's not necessarily, correct me because I use my heart rate as a guide, but that's not how I train. Like it's good once you've established that base. That's when you can start really honing in on your zones. Cause up until that point, like everything is still fluctuating so much as your body adapts to the new training stimulus of running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like if you sign on with our coach, like he wouldn't know what to do, because like my husband, he worked with our coach for a while and, his zone 2, what felt like easy for him was like a 4.3 on the treadmill, like where for me, I'm still walking at that, but his heart rate was so high, and like our coach was like, he can work with that. It's, but sometimes like, it really depends. It's like, oh, if you're getting frustrated at that point, like he can adjust it and do paces and stuff. Cause in the summer, that's what we have to do. Like I've never had as many paces right now, but it's because the second I hit anything over 60 minutes, it means that the temperature is probably risen by close to 10, 15 degrees. And my heart rate just stays high. So it's definitely something where you can start off doing it and it wouldn't be like completely confusing, but there is a learning curve with it for sure.
Yeah, just being patient with it and knowing that like it will adjust with time. Like I ran so many runs for me, the 10-minute range when you're looking at it, I'm running like a 6 something half marathon at that time. And so it's like the 10-minute range to when you're a 6.5, let's say half marathoner, that's like a 3.5 to almost 4 minute difference in pace fluctuation. So it's a big difference, but yeah, it does improve. I think really like if anybody's looking into heart rate training, like just use it as a metric guide to help you understand effort. Because I think at the end of the day, like even if you're not looking at it religiously, which in the beginning I don't think you should, I got a little bit hyper fixated. I was like, oh no. Now I looked at it. Now I'm 10 beats up. And because you're like all paranoid about it. But now being in it for like 2.5 years, like it's just there as like training wheels is how I tell people. It's like you can't put a new runner on a bike and tell them to go ride if they've never rid a bike. It's the same thing with the 5K effort, 10K effort. For me, I was a miler and I hopped into the marathon training, and my coach was like, okay, here's 3x2 miles, and I want you to fill each pace and tell me which one's your marathon effort. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I've never ran a marathon. I don't know what I could run for 26.2 miles. And the ego side of me wanted to say the fastest pace I did for the 2 mile rep was my marathon pace. And it wasn't. It actually ended up being the slowest one, which I knew it was. And I told him, I was like, I think this 6:30 pace is going to be my first marathon effort. And it ended up being a 6:32, I think, or something. And so it's really crazy. Like, I would have never known, and I am still learning what marathon effort is. But because I have the heart rate metric where I've seen multiple where my races have been sitting, which is that 85 to 87% heart rate max, I know when I'm in that zone on my runs that I'm in the right effort for marathon pace. And so it is such a good tool because it just trains new runners to know what things feel like. Like a 5K does not feel like a mile. And if you're hitting the wall at 1.5 miles in your 5K and you're not able to put anything out after that, you're going out too hard. And so it's really nice because that's where heart rate training comes into play, where it teaches the runner very specific effort feel. And but it's not just a one all be all. Like we use pace, we use effort, and we use heart rate. You need all three in your training. You should have all three. And I love that Whitney talked about that. Like she was like, I use as a guide for my effort. And I love that because that's exactly how it should be. It should be coupled with another metric always.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. Well, thank you guys. We had a lot of questions we didn't get to. Oh my goodness, this is insane. It's not usually like this. It's usually quiet, but we have a lot. We're going to start doing these Q&As on our Patreon, which you can get the link on the mileswithmoms.com website. But yeah, that's something we're gonna get doing now that our kids are in school. The summer was kind of tough to get stuff up on there, but now that life is starting to regulate a little bit, we are going to start doing that. So we have a lot of questions we didn't get to, so we'll carry those over onto our Patreon coming up. I was going to do a shout out.
Let's do it.
You guys, good. Do you follow Heather Runs Fast?
Yes, she's awesome.
She is awesome. So we're shouting out Heather. This is what she wrote about her love of running and why she runs. She started, I'm going to read it from her perspective. I'm not going to try to flip to the third person because I'll just mess it up. I started running in college to get in shape to play intramural soccer. I signed up for my first 5K as a way to support my mom going through breast cancer, and needless to say, I was hooked. I kept wanting to run faster and farther and eventually fell in love with the marathon. During that time, I met and married my husband, who also enjoyed running. We ran a marathon on our honeymoon and before having our amazing daughter, Kara, who is now almost 10. Through all my seasons of life, but especially as a mom, running's been a constant. It's a way to clear my head, plan out the week, and have alone time, whatever I need it to be. I love the example it shows for my daughter that consistency and hard work pays off, but also that you can do something just for fun. I love running, but I'm in a season of not racing, and that's okay. I hope she sees that running is a part of me, not my whole identity, and she can carry that on into her future endeavors. Oh, I love that so much.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I love that.
It is amazing. It plugs into our interview with Lee that we did about protecting our kids from absorbing whatever extracurricular they do or sport as their whole identity, and how that can really make you feel or make them vulnerable if something happens, So yeah, I love that. And if you are struggling with mom guilt, just go back and listen to what Heather wrote,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. Sorry, babe.
If you guys have a shout out, you can submit it to our Miles with Moms podcast Instagram handle. That was one of the questions. That's how we get those. And don't forget to leave. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I'm over here. It looks like I'm crying. Leave. Her words were just so beautiful.
Yeah.
We need reviews, so please leave a review, guys, on Apple's where you can leave them. But thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And happy week.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what day it is.
What day is it? Yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.